All right, folks, we are going to be talking about the best team in the AFC, subject that we love to talk about because our beloved Raiders are in there.
Raider Nation!
They are actually on this list. We have the Raiders, the Patriots, the Steelers, and the Chiefs. Find out who we think is number one.
Now.
Hi folks, we are Drew Code Sports Talk. I am your host, Andrew Wright. Over here is Cody Johnson. And Cody, we are going to discuss who we believe is the number one team in the AFC.
Yes.
So we have the Falcons and the NFC we agreed on. Are we going to agree in this one?
God, I sure hope so, because if not, this might be the end of a beautiful thing. But let's get started anyway. So on our list, we've got New England Patriots, got the Oakland Raiders, Pittsburg Steelers, Kansas City Chiefs. If we're one and the same, I went with Kansas City. We've got a really tough division in the AFC West. And the reason why I picked Kansas City is because, in my opinion, the teams that they've played so far, the Patriots and the Eagles, higher competition.
Yeah.
A little bit tougher of defense. I wouldn't say with the Patriots because they had some injuries, but still they outgunned Tom Brady. And that's really hard considering that they had souped up their offense, got some defensive pieces in there. Some experts even said that they would go undefeated the regular season. And Kansas City said, nah, you lost. Kareem Hunt went off on them. Tyreek Hill went off on them. Alex Smith looking like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady in one game. It was incredible. Okay, so that was, I think, a big significant win. And the defense stood out as well, pressuring Tom Brady, never making him feel comfortable after the second half. The Eagles, it looked good in the first quarter for both teams, and then KC just started getting a little tougher on defense, making it harder for Carson Wentz until the ending part of the fourth quarter. That was when it was kind of getting a little bit more airy out there, but still the defense stood tall and stopped them. So, in my opinion, that's why I believe KC is the number one team right now in the AFC, although I've got the Raiders and Patriots tied for 2, but KC for me is number 1.
All right, we agree. I have Kansas City as the best team in the AFC.
We're still a show.
And I want to call them the Kansas City Hunts because it's the Kareem Hunt show right now. He's been fantastic. And I know everyone wants to talk about Alex Smith. Everyone wanted to talk about Alex Smith after the win over the Patriots. Mm-hmm. And rightfully so. He had a really good game. He was very accurate. He was very precise with where he was throwing the ball. It was great. But Kareem Hunt has made the last 2 games has made it so much easier for him in the pass game, and also the running game. Kareem Hunt has two receiving touchdowns in week 2. I mean, he had one against the Eagles and one against the Patriots. So he's really helped this offense a lot more than they ever had. Yes, they also have Tyreek Hill, who is very fast, and he adds another dynamic. But I don't think he makes Alex Smith's job easier. It just adds something else. Kareem Hunt, on the other hand, definitely adds and makes it easier for him. Yeah. And so that's why I think, but like you said too, the defenses are crazy for the Kansas City Chiefs right now. Everything they do. And without Eric Berry, they still took it to an Eagles offense that is continuing to rise week to week.
Justin Houston by himself had 3 sacks on Carson Wentz, who, by the way, is not like he's a planted tree. He's a mobile quarterback, and he's kind of quick too. So for him to be able to get and penetrate the line and to chase down Carson Wentz or to get him just right off the bat just speaks to how fast this defense is and how strong it is. And they got Marcus Peters that can shut down a number 1 receiver easily. And again, Eric Berry, like what you just talked about, he's out, but you couldn't tell. I didn't even tell in week 2 that defense was suffering from one of their captains on defense, and look how strong of a performance they turned in. You know, and that's why I think they're number 1.
It's funny that you bring that up because when we were texting about the Chiefs and Eagles game, I was like, oh yeah, you know, the Chiefs, they got Eric Berry, and I was like, oh shoot, Eric Berry's not even on there. He's out for the year. Like, you're right. You don't think about it. And Eric Berry last year when he got hurt was a really big loss. And this year it looks like they tightened up. They really made it one unit. And when one guy falls back, one guy steps up and fills that fills that hole. So I gotta say, the Chiefs right now are very impressive. I don't think they're going to be the best team in the AFC all year. I just feel like Alex Smith is going to start regressing a little bit. As we saw in Week 2, I don't think he was that impressive.
Right.
And I think defenses are going to figure out how to stop Kareem Hunt. But right now, I have the Chiefs at number 1.
Right.
For sure.
Now, I just want to go out there, too, for all of our Raider fans, because, again, we're Raider Nation as well. It was really tough to choose KC over Raiders, considering that they're in the same division, and they're literally, at this point, our arch nemesis, because last year, had we beat them at least once out of the 2 times, we would have been first round bye in the playoffs. And it was because of the 2 losses we had there that we fell to the wild card, and they took the first spot in our division. But for me, I think had we played a tougher opponent than the Jets, I would have been more convinced to say all out the Raiders. But realistically, the Jets have really no threat on offense. Yeah, they scored 2 touchdowns on us, but really it was, honestly, I even told you this, I mean, they were good throws, and we just the defense I don't want to say snooze, the receiver made a better play on it, but Emerson was the one that gave up the 2 touchdowns. Bottom line, that's how I saw it. That's what worries me about our defense is our run-stop defense is good to a point. How is our third down defense? Throughout the years, our third down defense has been our Achilles heel. And then also our cornerbacks. I know we have the rookie, and he played really good.
Yeah, he was.
But you've got Emerson on the opposite side that I think is losing a step. And then you've got Sean Smith that I'm still waiting for him to kind of show up with all the money that we paid him. Yeah. He did great the second week, the one against the Jets, but I would like to see some more production. I was expecting him to be close enough to keep to leap at least for Denver. He's not a shutdown cornerback, but you can rely on him when the going gets tough. And last year, I didn't feel like we can rely on him at all.
Yeah.
But the Raiders' defense is my biggest question mark. But their offense, without a doubt, their offense is incredible. It is sparks flying, wildfire. It's crazy good. They score points in bunches. Every time Derek Carr has the ball in the fourth quarter, I'm completely at ease because we're probably going to get this touchdown.
Yeah.
He's got the most fourth quarter closing wins since 2014 when he entered the league.
Yeah.
And you can't argue with that. That's clutch.
You can't. You're right. I was so worried about our defense so much that I was like, we might have like an 8-8 season just because our defense is so bad. Coming in now seeing the last 2 weeks, I have the Raiders at number 2 in the AFC solely. And the reason is, first of all, they're 2-0, but their defense has surprised me. They look good. I know what you're saying about Emerson giving up the 2 touchdowns. There was one where his hand was there, and Curse made a better catch. And as a cornerback, sometimes stuff like that just happens. And so I don't necessarily say it was bad defense. I just think it was better play by the receiver. And, that was kind of a junk time touchdown as it was anyway. So I wasn't too concerned about it. Khalil Mack always shows up in the third and fourth quarter. The first and second quarter, he's kind of reading the offensive line, see what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But I think what has come in that is so underrated for our team is our front 4.
Yeah.
Our front 4 has been really good.
Mario Edwards Jr. is an absolute stud. Justin Ellis getting in there. Those are what we were actually talking about this. We were worried, did they address the nose tackle position? Did they address the centerpieces? Because we got the outside taken care of, but do they have the guys in the middle that can cluster up that offensive line so we can get some pressure on there, especially with not having a real legitimate linebacker on our defense other than Irvin. But, it's great to see that front 4 is getting after it. It's hard to stop them, and especially with how versatile they are. They're almost hybrids in the sense that they can play almost somewhat of a linebacker in coverage. They can press the offensive line for pressure. They can contain the quarterback if they're mobile. They're a really good bunch. Young, but they're really good.
Yeah. I will say I wanted to make a note of this. It really looks like to me the Raiders have started where they left off last year when Carr broke his leg.
Yeah.
When that play happened, when he broke his leg, you saw how everything just kind of fell down.
Yeah.
With him coming back, it looks like everything's back to what it was, but now it's even better. And you add beast mode, and they're not asking him to do a ton.
Yeah.
They're asking him to do just enough. He's not getting 20 carries. I mean, he's getting maybe 15 a game. And that's all you need. I mean, that's how the Raiders' offense was. I think right now the Raiders are the second best team.
Yeah.
I would say that the Patriots are my third best team. Yeah, they put a beating on the Saints, but honestly, it's the Saints' defense.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go too much into that because right now they do have Edelman who is injured.
Right.
So to me, they're still trying to figure it out. Cooks and Brady still don't have a fantastic connection.
Yeah.
So they're still learning that. So there's a lot of stuff that they are still learning as a team offensively, and their defense actually does scare me because Breeze at first wasn't putting up a lot, but towards the end of the game, it wasn't just the junk time. It was they made it into a game, and the Patriots had to put it away in the end.
Yeah. And look, I'm not going to rule out I'm not going to say that the Patriots are, third place forever. I mean, they could easily be at the top of the AFC by the end of the season like they usually are. I mean, it's very rare that they struggled the first week. Then the second week, obviously, they annihilated the Saints. But again, what we talked about, they always have the most atrocious defense in the last, 4 years. Anybody that has a pulse that plays in the NFL can score on the Saints, just about. And with the Patriots, you can never count out Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Those two masterminds right there. Bill Belichick will find your strength and take it away from you if you give him enough time, and Tom Brady will dissect your defense if you give him the opportunity. Backs at your dual threat, James White.
And Gronk
is injured as well, but you've got Dwayne Allen as like your insurance policy, but still though not nearly as athletically gifted as Gronk and not nearly as good of a presence.
Yeah.
And your defense, you just lose. You don't have Hightower right now; he's injured, so you've got the heart of your defense in a sense not on the field to kind of help navigate everything. So you got all these parts that you're trying to interweave, but all the pillars that you need to bring it together aren't available right now. So they'll turn it around. But right now, the Patriots, they're the 3 for me as well. So
I have the Steelers at number 4, and the reason being, honestly, is they're a 50-50 team each week. Yeah. You don't know what team's going to show up. The first week against the Browns, they struggled.
Yeah.
Again, it's kind of like what we talked about earlier about the Falcons and Bears. Everyone has the nerves, everyone gets excited, whatever it may be. But still, against the Browns, with a rookie quarterback, the Steelers should have put that game away no problem, and they didn't. And the other issue that I see is their defense isn't as dominant. Now, it's pretty good. I'm not going to say that it's not. But their defense isn't as dominant as it usually is. Mm-hmm. And you kind of see a ripple effect in the offense. The offense can't get going sometimes.
Right.
And honestly, from what I've seen, Antonio Brown hasn't been super dominant so far.
Right.
Now, obviously, it's only week 2. We can't, be like, oh, the Steelers are in trouble. I'm not saying that so far, but I feel like the groove, and especially Le'Veon Bell, he's not getting in a groove either, and that is very worrisome.
Well, I mean, last game, too, when they played the Vikings had a really stout defense, luckily with a couple of passes from Ben Roethlisberger able to kind of open up the offense. It kind of helped, but Le'Veon Bell is a dual threat, so I don't think necessarily that I don't want to say that he's slowed down by the training camp holdout that he had. However, though, I think by week 3 we'll start seeing some sort of offensive explosion from them, because you still got Antonio Brown that catches in large quantities and large volumes on that team. You got Martavis Bryant on the other side. That's a threat by himself that you have to worry about. And then you've got Bell, and you got Roethlisberger, the veteran. But I agree with you. They're more of a 50-50 team just because their defense is what kind of worries me. I'm not worried about their offense because they'll score 30 points at will. It's can their defense stop the other team from scoring the same amount of points and put it into a gun show, because you don't want to go down in a gun show with the Patriots and the Steelers, because even though KC beat the Patriots at their own game, they had a defense to back them up, to stop them when they needed to. Mm-hmm. And I agree with you that the Steelers are at number 4. They're very talented. They've got a lot of talent. They can easily move that ball whenever they want to. It's their defense that is what they struggle with. It's not what their norm was about 10 years ago. 10 years ago, they were all defense, no offense. Now it's completely reversed. Yeah. They've got a high-powered offense, but they've got a limited defense. They're trying to treat it as a bend but don't break, but every once in a while it breaks on them when it shouldn't. And that's, to your point, the Browns kind of made it competitive. I think the reason why the Vikings were more of a solid defensive performance is because they didn't have Sam Bradford. They didn't have the starting quarterback, the one that runs the offense, that can get the running game started. Because all you have to do is now stop Cook, the rookie, and that's all you have. You don't have Latavius Murray that can do his own thing. You got an offensive line that's good, But if you don't have a quarterback that you can rely on flinging the ball down the field, you don't really have it. You're not really worried about that team anymore. So, and that's why I think that the Steelers get 4 as well. Great team, defense suspect.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Look at all this information that's spewing out. It's nice to see him in his element right now. Baseball, when we talk about baseball, he's kind of like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that guy that swings back, he's really good.
Yeah, that guy. He hits
What's his name again?
He hits it over the fence. Yeah, I like him.
Pomeranian? Yeah, he's a great guy.
Pomegranate? That was my favorite one. All right, guys, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We are Drew Code Sports Talk. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is also, evidently, Drew Code Sports Talk.